You don't get to put your hands on me anyhow, except you're not. Not after you spilled champagne on my thousands of dollars gown. All right, that's enough. Let me tell you about the night a woman who thought she was royalty finally learned she wasn't even close. And trust me, she didn't learn gently. It all began in a chandelier-soaked dining hall where money sparkled, fake smiles glittered, and one cruel moment shattered the entire room. But before that, here's a little warm-up story. A glass slipped, a waitress froze. Champagne exploded across polished marble, conversations died mid-laugh. The string quartet practically choked on their own notes, and 100 rich folks turned their heads in perfect synchronized judgment. And right at the center of it stood a young black waitress trembling, while Cynthia Langford, the self-appointed queen of the mansion, watched her like she'd committed a federal crime. Crazy start, right? It gets nastier. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from, and make sure to subscribe to Silent Divide Tales, because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. Morning. Sunlight oozed across the Langford estate like it was paid to show up. Gold on marble, crystal vases glowing everything, sparkling like a magazine spread. And moving through all that shine was Cynthia Langford, Millionaire's wife, professional perfectionist and part-time tyrant, gliding around her mansion as if applause followed her. Her gestures rehearsed, her smile fake but expensive, her diamond bracelet clicking dramatically against her espresso cup on purpose. Meanwhile, her husband, Reginald Langford, tech genius and adored public figure, was admired and respected in a way Cynthia could only fake. That night, the Langfords hosted another charity dinner supposedly to empower communities, though half the room hadn't struggled a day in their lives. Among the quiet staff weaving between the tables was Shonda Williams, a young black waitress working double shifts to support her mother. Careful posture, silent steps, the kind of girl who understood that in rooms like this one mistake could ruin everything. And that mistake came. A tray brushed a guest's elbow, wine spilled across white linen, and the room gasped like Shonda had set the place on fire. She froze, trembled, opened her mouth to apologize, but Cynthia beat her to it. Of course, Cynthia said, voice smooth with venom, it had to be you. Conversations collapsed mid-laughter. The entire hall turned into a museum exhibit of silence. Shonda tried to fix the mess, but Cynthia stepped closer, eyes cold. You work at my event, she whispered, and you can't even manage a glass. Across the room, Reginald barely noticed. He thought it was minor commotion. He was wrong. Shonda bowed her head. I'm sorry, ma'am. It won't happen again. Cynthia wasn't done. She lifted her champagne, tipped it, and let it splash deliberately across Shonda's shoes, a cruel smile. A room full of cowards pretending they weren't watching. Then Cynthia delivered the blow. You people never learn, do you? The air snapped. Reginald finally turned. The laughter had died. The music faltered. People were staring. His eyes followed their gaze, then his face drained, Cynthia towering. Shonda kneeling, humiliation dripping across the floor. Something inside him broke. He stood. Chair scraping loud enough to cut through marble. And Cynthia, she took it further. As Shonda rose, Cynthia grabbed her wrist. Hard, tight, a grip meant to intimidate, not correct. Don't you walk away from me, she hissed. Shonda let out a small cry, tiny, human, heartbreaking. It cracked the entire room open. Reginald walked toward them, guests parted like he was royalty. Cynthia. His voice trembled with disbelief. What are you doing? Cynthia dropped Shonda's wrist like it was dirty. I was teaching her a lesson. She needs to understand her place. The whispers erupted instantly. Her place, did she really say that? Phones came out, cameras rolled. Reginald's tone hardened. You've forgotten what decency looks like. The mask Cynthia had worn for years finally shattered. He turned to Shonda. You don't deserve this, none of it. Her eyes glistened. Not from fear, but from the shock of finally being defended. Cynthia stepped back, breath shaky with humiliation. People stared at her now, not Shonda and the internet. It did the rest. Within hours, the videos blew up. #Millionaire's wife, justice for Shonda. Brands cut ties, committees suspended, her invitations vanished. Cynthia Langford, once addicted to attention, had nowhere left to hide. But Shonda. She showed up to work the next morning with her chin high. She didn't want pity, she wanted dignity, and she finally got it. Reginald released a statement. Silence is complicity. We cannot heal what we refuse to confront. That's what people remembered, not Cynthia's cruelty. But the moment someone finally chose to stand against it, because real change doesn't start with applause. It starts when someone refuses to stay silent. Thank you for watching Silent Divide Tales, where truth speaks louder than privilege. If this story moved you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Tomorrow's tale is even deeper.